today we're talking about the Oscars. Now you might be thinking, didn't we talk about the Oscars before? Yes, we did. We did. We talked about it recently, and now we're revisiting it. So we're revisiting the Oscars for a few reasons. Well, we're going to be revisiting the Oscars several times in the coming episodes because the Oscars are coming up. But we talked about why the Oscars were broken recently, and since had that conversation, the Academy has made some announcements, and we're gonna pick out the three of those main announcements, and we're gonna react to what the Academy has done to improve upon the shortcomings of the award show that at least some of the ones we pointed out, some of the ones we maybe didn't even bring up, but they're doing something about it. They want to make the best show possible, and it looks like this is their attempt to do so. So with that said, let's get on to all these stories. I'm gonna pull up a number of stories that have come out in recent days, weeks, if you will. The very first one, guys. So Roland, Mags, Andrew, here's what's going on at the Oscars this year. The very first thing that they announced this was, I think, let's see, February 14th. So a couple of weeks ago from when we were recording this. They announced the new hosts. So there's not one, not two, not three. Well, not one, not two, the three hosts. Much like LeBron James and Dwayne Wade's attempt at three rings, which never happened. But it's not the first time they've had three hosts before. This is the first time they've done it in a while. And as you can see, it's Amy Schumer, Regina Hall, Wanda Sykes. I don't know. Okay, it's not really what I would have picked. It's not really what most people would have thought they would have wanted for this. But here we are. So Roland, tell me, what do you think about this? Like,
it's such a weird collection of comedians. It's just I don't really understand how they're connected. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Regina Hall, and I used to be really big fan of Amy Schumer and Wanda Sykes, but I don't know. It might good. I think they're trying to overcompensate a little bit. Maybe like, hey, maybe if we get three comedians over just one comedian, maybe it'll be 3 times as funnier. I don't know. I think I'll have to watch them to really give my full judgment. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's a head scratcher, head turn. It was certainly a head turner, but it's a head scratcher too because it's really hard to tell how they landed upon that selection of hosts. But we'll see. They're trying to do this whole 1 hour, one host sort of a situation. So 3 hours, 3 hosts. You do the math. They're trying to freshen it up at the top of every hour. So we'll see how that goes. But let's move on to the next story. We're gonna talk about this thing that the Academy announced called the Fan Favorite Award. Now we don't really know. Actually, I pulled up the wrong item here. Here we go. The Fan Favorite Award. We don't really know what that entails. Like in terms of like, are they gonna actually hand out a trophy, or is it just they're just gonna say, oh, we put up this poll and this is the movie that won. But anyway, the point is they want to recognize the fan favorite film, like the most popular film, if you will. They tried to make that a category a while ago, and the voting has been going about as well as expected. Well, actually, not as it's somewhat how people expected that a movie, like Zack Snyder Justice League or Spider-Man No Way Home, which is probably what the Academy thought would get most amount of votes because they have rabid online followings. But what has ended up happening is a movie like not Disney's Cinderella, but Amazon Prime's Cinderella has been leading the race because all the fans of what's her name? What's the name of this person? Camila Cabello. She was the main lead in this movie. All of her stands are taking a stand and voting for her version of Cinderella to win this. So Mags, let me ask you this: what do you think about this fan favorite film award? I mean, should this even be a thing? And since it is, who would you vote for?
I mean, I really hope we're gonna start handing out awards for it. I mean, I see how they try to make people more engaged with the whole process, but at the same time, yeah, it's definitely a step up, but will that actually be an award for People's Choice Awards? No, I don't think so. It's a nice try though. Yep.
Yeah.
What else do they have? I mean, I'm not excited.
I mean, look, if you want, here's the thing.
Sorry.
It's open to all of us to vote. You can go on the website. There's a website called OscarsFanFavorite.com. You pull up to this page, and you right there in the blue box, you can vote for it.
Let's assume some film will win this award.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be their line? Oscars fan favorite.
Nobody really knows how they're gonna treat this. Like in actuality, whether it's gonna be like they're gonna actually give an Oscar, or they're just gonna say, oh, and now let's talk about, like they do the in memoriam segment. Like who knows? Maybe this will just be a segment, or maybe this will be an award.
Sure.
We don't really know. They're sort of like non-committal on that, maybe on purpose, because the whole idea behind this is to drive ratings. They want people to tune in and see who won, especially people who voted using this form that we have on screen. But
my concern would be people can see past through it.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
It would be quite interesting to see how many people will participate even in voting for that thing.
Well, as you can imagine, even if people see through it, they will still vote for it because clearly they are voting for it. But anyway, we got to move on. So let's talk about the next subject here. The next story that came. Oh, I'm pulling the wrong story up again. Let me go back a couple. Here we go. So 8 categories that won't air live this year at the Oscars Award. Their recaps will be shown. So basically, as you guys probably have, if you have seen the Oscars before, if you know how the show generally works, it can go upwards of 3 to 4 hours, and that obviously is a long time for somebody to sit through the show. So this year they're trying to shorten the show up and kind of make it more high and tight in terms of the pacing. So one of the ways they're going to do it is they're going to take 8 of the categories from 22 or 23 categories total that the Oscars have. Andrew, how many categories total do the Oscars have? 23? Is that the number?
I'm asking the wrong guy.
Okay,
That's
all right.
Too many. I'll tell you too many.
Yeah.
So they're getting rid of 8. Fine.
Yeah. Well, they're not getting
Fine.
rid of them, right? So here's what they're basically doing. They're taking those 8 categories and they're still presenting them at the event, but they're doing them before the show goes live on air. So they're gonna film them, then they're gonna put them into a video package of some kind, and they're gonna show those categories during the show rather than doing it live, which takes obviously a lot more time than if they were to cut it down into smaller pieces. So it's meant to streamline the show. So that's what do you think about that?
Well, kind of sucks to have to get your award out of the ceremony. It's like you don't really get to be part of the monologue or anything. You are one thing that we just have to sort of get through. You know what? In terms of the show, get it over as soon as you possibly can. We're not missing anything. Audiences aren't really going to tell. But I think a better way to do it would be to do banner ads, stream it, don't cut to commercial constantly. You could just coordinate the whole thing better. But step in the right direction, make the thing shorter.
Yeah. No, hey, I think it's at least worth trying. Maybe it will be terrible and people will hate it. Maybe people won't care, or maybe people will love it. Who knows? I mean, the categories are documentary, short subject, film editing, makeup and hairstyling, music, original score. Music, original song is still going to be presented live, but music, original score won't be. So if John Williams wins or somebody like that, Hans Zimmer, for Dune, for example, that will be a video package deal. Production design, which, again, another one of those technical award categories. Short film animated, short film live action, and sound. So
at the end of the day, it's a show. It's a show. The Oscars is for entertainment, and people care about the awards that night and the next day, and then they don't really think about it until they put it on their resume again. So, you know what? Make it a better show. Make it a better show.
Yeah. I mean, look, I sort of
Amen.
agree with you, because there are Oscar purists out there who will say things like, no, this is the integrity of the award show, the Oscars, is being compromised. But I'm like, yes, but you guys make up, those people make up a minority of the large audience, the millions of people who watch it. Majority of them probably won't think of it the same way. So yeah, let's see what happens.
No.
So in review, we have new hosts. We have a fan favorite award, which we don't know how they're gonna treat that, whether it's a trophy or it's just a segment where they highlight the movie that won. And then of course they're shortening the runtime, hopefully, of the show itself by taking 8 categories, presenting them before the show actually goes live, and then they're gonna streamline the whole overall show as a result of that. So those were the changes so far that have been announced for the 2022 Oscars. We at Also Curious are following, of course, any other announcements that may come down the road. And so we may revisit the subject again. And of course, we have our planned, what are we calling this? We were going to watch along the Oscars. And
Our live stream.
yeah, we're going to live stream basically a second screen experience. If you don't like watching the main show, you can put that on mute and have it running in the background and listen to us commentate. We will tell you who wins, the best original score or the best film, the best actor in leading role or best actress in a leading role. But at any rate, that will do it for the Oscars Revisit.